Okay, now we're going to tackle these questions 2, 3, and 4. Okay, they're percent problems, and we can do each of them two ways, and you can choose which way you like or both. But we'll start with question 2. What is 30% of $70? Well, there's a couple of ways of doing this. I'll do it one way, which is to say that directly, what is 30% of $70? Well, we'll convert the 30% to a decimal. Can you do that? 30% to a decimal would be move the decimal point 2 spaces to the left, and we have 0.30 or 0.3, right? Of means multiply. In math, of means multiply. Multiply by 70. Okay, 30% of 70 is simply 0.3 times 70. So all we need to do is multiply that and we have the answer. So 70, 0.3, multiply. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 7 is 21. And is the answer 210 or not? No, because there's one decimal place in the question, therefore there must be one decimal place in the answer. The answer is actually 21.0 or 21. Okay? So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to use a kind of formula where we say the percent amount over 100 equals the part over the whole, right? Whole. Okay. The percent amount is 30. So 30% over 100 equals the part. Now it's over the whole. Now we got to figure out what's the part and what's the whole, right? What is 30% of 70? We're actually trying to find the part and we're given the whole. Does that make sense? The question is saying what is 30% of 70? Is it clear to you that 70 is the whole part? Because we're getting 70 or 30% of it. So the part is unknown. I'll call that X maybe, or P, or whatever, right? X, P, Y, whatever. And now we have a proportion. And I've already covered how to solve these guys. Solving a proportion, cross multiply. Right, cross multiply, and you get 100x, 100 times x equals 30 times 70, 30 times 70, which would be, right, so 100x equals 2100, and then x has been multiplied by 100, so divide both sides by 100, and we get x equals 21. Okay. And you might say, oh my goodness, that's a longer method than this way. The first way was shorter, we got 21 pretty quickly. But it really depends on how you look at it, because this method works for all the different types of percent problems, right? And I guess the thing to remember is, you know, they are kind of confusing. Like, a lot of people get confused with this. General, you know, anybody can be confused in these things. So, you know, it's like this method might be more foolproof, but it might take a little longer depending on what the problem is. If you can do it both ways, that's great, because then you really do understand percents if you can do it both ways. So that's what I would, my preference would be to be able to do it both ways. Anyway,